Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. All right, I want to open tonight with a couple of topics. First up, there's a nice-looking stock market rally. The Dow's rising, 1,350 some odd points over the past couple of days, kind of out of the blue after the dismal third quarter. Year to date, still bear market territory. The broad-based S&P 500 down 21%. Now, permit me to ruminate on this. First up, I always like it when America's portfolio goes up. The latest Gallup survey shows 58% are invested in stocks one way or another through their 401ks, IRAs, pension funds, and whatnot. That could come to nearly 150 million people, according to Gallup, and that is a very big number. Joe Biden doesn't pay any attention to the stock market. He and his wokesters think it's all rigged by a bunch of rich people, but they are wrong. They don't believe in free markets. They don't believe in any markets, let alone stock markets. But middle American working folks are in the market, and they've had a very rough time of it. So I'm glad there are some happy moments, at least for a couple of days. However, not to be a killjoy, not me, but a stagflationary economy with a lot more Fed tightening ahead and lower corporate profit markdowns. Remember, profits are the mother's milk of stocks. All that kind of makes me think this relief rally, based on short covering with little volume, is not going to really change the bearish trend we're in. Some folks are saying the weak JOLTS report, with 1.1 million fewer jobs opening, and that following yesterday's weak ISM manufacturing report. So they say, well, that means less Fed tightening, the worse the economy is, and therefore lower interest rates. In other words, in this perverse logic, bad news is good news. I never liked that logic. Personally, I always think good news is good news. Good news is strong growth, price stability, a sound king dollar, more people working and prospering. And good news is never about a recession or stagflation. And we've seen this many times in the past. We can have good news. That's good news. All right. But, long-term bet on America and its capitalist prosperity, right? That's what I think, in the long term. This little progressive socialist interlude is going to be cleaned out before too long. That's why I always agree with Professors Burt Malkiel of Princeton and Jeremy Siegel of Penn about stocks for the long run. It's always the best investment strategy. Kevin Hassett and Nancy Tengler, two experts who actually know something about the subject, apart from myself. They'll be on the show later to tell us much more. Now, the second thought tonight, and I can't help myself on this. The Biden administration is now using Ronald Reagan's evil empire to justify their continued nuclear deal negotiations with the outlaw state of Iran. Huh? What? That sound you may be hearing is the sound of my blood boiling. This is a pathetic Biden argument. First of all, Ronald Reagan's basic take on the Soviet Union was very simple. We win, you lose. I haven't heard Biden say that about Iran or any of our other enemies. Also, Biden's never had the gumption to call Iran the evil empire. In fact, Biden hates MAGA more than he hates Iran. Another point, Reagan in his first term wouldn't even meet with the Soviet leaders. Not only would he not negotiate with the communists, he wouldn't talk to them, period. Instead, he spent his first term bolstering America's defenses, investing trillions and trillions of dollars into our national security, including the anti-ballistic missile system, sometimes called Star Wars, that is now the center of American defense against nukes. The other part of Reagan's first term was tax cuts and deregulation to rejuvenate American economic growth, which soared by 10 or 12% for a while, which then provided the resources to support our national defense. And when Reagan got around to meeting with Gorbachev in his second term, he told the Soviet leader that Star Wars was not negotiable and pointed out that the American economy was producing the goods to support our defense, but that the collapsing Soviet economy couldn't support anything. So in a couple of years, guess what? We won and they lost. Biden has turned a boom into a bust. His State Department keeps begging the Iranians for a deal, by the way, that is non-verifiable, would include a couple of $100 billion of assistance to a bunch of people who are known internationally to lie, cheat, steal, terrorize, and kill anything and anybody supporting America and Israel. In fact, not to put too fine a point on it, it's almost Biden saying, we lose, you win. I just need to get all that off my chest. And that's my riff.